What is going down, YouTube family? It is your boy Zary, and before we get into the video, one thing I want to tell you is, if you are just starting this game and you are under level 15, make sure you're using my promo code. Down in the description of my video is a link if you're just finding this channel for the first time. Click that link to download Dragon Champions on iOS or Android. Once you do that, click the cog setting, wrong way, right there above me. Click that cog setting. Inside the cog setting, you are going to see the use promo code. Make sure you're clicking on that. When you're in the promo code, type in XMG gift. Hit the OK button and get $10 worth of free stuff. So with that being said, my YouTube family, enjoy the free stuff. Help support the channel. I love y'all. Enjoy the video. What is happening, my YouTube family? It is your boy Zary. We're here for the long overdue what happens at Gear 12 Solius. I had some trouble with YouTube. They flagged me for audio I use all the time, and they kept saying, oh, it's under review, it's under review. And I really liked the last quality of the video, so I didn't want to reshoot it. Finally, I've had enough. I'm just going to reshoot it. So it's Wednesday night right now, so hopefully you'll be seeing this on Thursday. Going to get this out, and then I'm going to put the next poll up, and I'm going to start, like I said, getting these out at least once a week. And before I get into that, in case I don't get another chance to make a video, happy Father's Day this weekend to all the fathers out there. So I just wanted to say that in case I don't get a chance to make another video. I got 2 more planned. So with that being said, we're going to jump right into what happens at Gear 12 with Solius. Now, I made some changes to this series. I got a lot of feedback on it, and it was very constructive and positive, so thank you to everybody for that. I did all the testing with 0 runes. Because, you know, changing up runes, that's something you can quantify and see yourself as you do it. Now, for testing, 0 runes, so I just went Gear 11 and Gear 12 for runes. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to kind of jump into the stats, and I'm going to talk about each individual stat, and then I'm going to grade this overall Gear 12 of what I think about it, and maybe it'll help you prioritize it a little bit more. So let's jump over to the stats. Alright, so here we are is health, right? At Gear 11, Solius has a health of 22,899. At Gear 12, Solius takes a 9,550 jump to 32,449. In all honesty, this is the one stat you really see a difference in with Solius. You notice a huge survivability difference between the Gear 11 Solius and the Gear 12 Solius. Now, I can't really show you footage of him getting hit. I mean, I could, but who I'm fighting is going to be completely different. Now, when I tested these characters, I should have said this first, but when I tested them in the More Doom challenge on not the last stage, but the second to last stage. I thought that'd be a really good spot to test out the Gear 11 and Gear 12. So that's where I did my testing. And with the health, I have to say, I noticed such a huge difference in his overall survivability. So for me, that is a huge positive, taking him to Gear 11 to Gear 12. He can be a little bit squishy at times, and this is just really nice for him. Now we talk about his shield. And again, this goes into the whole survivability play. And at Gear 11, he has a 31,167 shield. At Gear 12, he gains 7,849, and he goes up to 39,016. This plays into the health. Now, it isn't as impactful as the health, in my opinion, but it's a huge bonus, and you can notice the health and shield. You notice how much more survivable Solius is from Gear 11 to Gear 12. Physical armor at Gear 11, he is 30.25, and at Gear 12 he goes to 32.33. Now that is only a change of 2.08%. Honestly, you don't really see much of that jump in the armor at a 2%. You know, it doesn't really knock off a whole heck of a lot. I was trying to focus on when they went after him, how much damage it was really showing and doing, and to quantify it, you know, it was a couple hundred, really. It's not anything like, oh man, he's gonna really reduce his damage intake, and it's not there. So don't look for that when thinking about Solius upgrading him to gear 11 to gear 12. Magic armor, pretty much the same thing. He had a very high magic armor at 42.31, and he goes up to a 44.71, so it's a jump of 2.4%. Again, you're really not seeing a whole heck of a lot of a difference here. 100, you know, critical hits come down maybe about 1,000, so it's not going to make or break if he survives the fight or the battle. So again, same thing with the physical armor. Don't look for this to make or break the reason you do it. Magic damage. Solius is a magic damage dealer. He has a magic damage of gear 11 at 3,105. He comes in at gear 12 at 3,417. That is a change of 312 essentially. And I was hoping for a little, to be honest, I was hoping for a little bit more from his magic damage. His heals are based off magic damage, right? He has, you know, his A1 is based off the magic damage, and bringing it up really 312 to kind of put it in perspective here. Let me get out the old notebook. At gear 11, I was averaging on an A1 between, you know, 5,700 to about 8,700, right in that range. And you'll see this, the videos popping up here and there. And you know, the crits came in at gear 11 about 13.5 to 14,000 on Solius, completely unruined, right? So that's only going to get better as you ruin him. But then I went to gear 12, and I was hoping to see a little bit more of a jump. My average in this area was right around 7,800 to about 9,100. So it really wasn't that much of a difference, about 500 to 600 more damage, to be completely honest. Now, where I did notice it a little bit more was in the crits. The crit, I was hitting 15, 16k, a little bit about, I touched 17k once. So it really, that's about where I really saw the biggest jump. I didn't really see a lot of that. What I wanted to see, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. I wanted him to hit a little bit harder. So then you go to his A2. His A2 is the mass heal, you know, where he just heals everybody on the team. And honestly, at gear 11, when my health was extremely low, I tried to get as low as I possibly could to pop that heal. And it's always based off his magic damage. So it's not like he does damage, so it can change. So roughly, it was right around 22,000 at gear 11. You know, when I had like a sliver of health left, I'd heal myself full at 22,000. Now, it might be a little bit more because you could possibly heal for more than that. But even on my tank, I was healing, you know, 22,300, 22,400, you know, right in that area. So gear 12, this is where I really wanted to see, because you're really not looking for him to do much damage with his A1 anyways. So his A2 at gear 12, I was consistently at the high 23,000. So and that was on my tank. So I gained about, I don't know, maybe 1,400 to his heal, which, you know, could be the difference between somebody dying and somebody not. I understand that, but it's really not going to be this game-changing thing. Now, you put a damage set on him and you do all that good stuff, it could really, really help. That extra 300 is going to make a big difference. You know, you put a good artifact on him, things like that. But as far as his A2 goes, you're really not going to see a huge impactful difference. Now his A3, that's the Amos's Blessing. This is where I noticed the biggest difference in his damage uptake, which is weird. But I was when I put on Amos's Blessing, it was right around 9k. You know, 93 and some change, right? But right around 9k is a good place to say it hits. 9k. So I took him to gear 12, did all my testing like I did for every other move here, and his A3, his Amos's Blessing, at gear 12, I was up almost 13k. I was getting 12-9 consistently. That is a big jump. So I really noticed the magic damage change in his Amos's Blessing, his third ability. But overall, to me, the jump in his magic damage was really kind of underwhelming. Crit chance. His crit chance goes at gear 11, he's at 20.77. He gains a solid 7% at 27.77. Now, I did notice this, and where it was kind of nice is if he's in the lead, he does give the humans that counter chance, and your counter chance damage is always reduced anyways. But I found myself critting just a little bit more, obviously with 7%, but it seemed to even happen more than just 7% of the time more. And that was over 50 battles, between 40 and 50 battles, so I was happy with that, and that was something I was pleasantly surprised with, was his crit chance. I was noticing a lot more on the counter attacks, doing the more damage there because I was able to crit more. So that was really beneficial and kind of like the hidden gem of Solius going to gear 12 for me. Potency. Potency doesn't change much, and to be honest, he doesn't really need it anyways, so it's kind of a moot point. 23 at gear 11 goes up to 26 at gear 12. He gains 3, and I'm not really going to talk much about it because he doesn't really need it. Tenacity. He gains 4. He goes from 35 at gear 11 to 39 at gear 12. And to be truthfully honest, you don't notice a damn difference between gear 11 and gear 12. Leave it at that. If you want him to have high tenacity and really make a difference, you need tenacity runes on him, and half the time that doesn't even really help. So 4 does essentially crap for you. So just kind of leave it at that. Now Solius, he doesn't gain speed when you take him to gear 11 to gear 12, so that is only thing that's going to change that is your runes. So don't look for that to be a huge difference. Now, when I look at Solius, gear 11 to gear 12, the survivability, like I talked about, was the number one thing I noticed, and it was really nice. Now, does that make or break your battle? Sometimes it does, right? Because if the longer he stays alive and the faster he is, right, you really do see a difference. So to me, that is the shining spot. But I really wanted to see that heal get a lot more powerful. And as I touched on, and I'm not going to go back into depth, it was really underwhelming. Amos's Blessing, third ability, really took a bump. And to me, that was huge. So, the overall on Solius, if I were to grade Solius as A tier being, you need to do it, it changes the character overall. B, above average. C, whenever you get to it is when you get to it. D, wouldn't really consider it. And F, waste of time. I'd put him right at like a C+. The survivability and health is going to change your overall composition with humans, but in the long run, it really, taking him from gear 11 to gear 12, I'm in no rush now that I've done this test to get him done. Like, he was one of the ones I was thinking about doing, and I'm glad I kind of did this, because I think you can get more impactful stats and changes from somebody else. He is worth it eventually, but he doesn't need to be near your top tier. And that's kind of what I got to say about Solius from gear 11 to gear 12. So that is what I got, and this is kind of the new format. So let me know what you think, because I really like the way this goes, and I really like the length of this video. So please leave your comments down below. After this goes live, I will post the next one and get it ready for next week. All right. So with that being said, again, if I don't get to see you out there, or you get to see me out there, have a great Father's Day. Be spoiled. I know we only get one day a year, and sometimes we don't even get that, but enjoy it. Be spoiled. I love y'all. I'll see you in the next one. I'm out.